Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. It is a beautiful sunny day today and I'm going to be working on my black spruce, pruning it up to get a nice tight conical form. Here is a look at the tree. I'll spin it around. So I've already tried to get it as tight a conical form as I can get, but it's still not there yet. I'd like it to be even a narrower cone shape. So a lot of these long shoots here, branches can get pruned back. And I'm hoping I can do that today, hoping there's some back buds in here that I can prune back to. So let's look at some of the branches now and see what can be done. Here's a look at a branch. On this branch, out at the tip here, there's quite a few vigorous buds. And if I go back closer to the trunk line, I can see some buds back here on the branch. So on this branch, I could prune it back to here and it'll allow these buds back here to now grow, and I've shortened the branch. This branch here is one of my longest branches. I have 3 or 4 buds out at the tip here. If I go back in the branch, I have a pair of buds back here. And if I go back even further, I've got a bud right here. So I could prune this long branch back to here, like this, shortening it. Here's another long branch here. So again, I have buds, 1, 2, 3 buds at the tip. I've got some buds back further here. And I've got some buds way back here. So I can shorten this branch back to here, taking the whole end off, getting this tree more compact, a tighter conical form to it. Let's look at the apex of the tree now. So you can see the top is dead. The rabbits ate the top off this tree. That's why it's dead on top like that. There's several new branches growing up which will, eventually become the leader of the tree. You can see this one is really vigorous. I don't mind the dead top on it. You see that in nature a lot. They get killed by the wind or lightning, or I can prune this one back. I'm just pruning these back more compact. I've got lots of buds in there. This one can be pruned back. So this time of year the buds are really visible. They're swelling to grow in spring. So it's a good time to prune a spruce when you see those buds starting to get really fat. So I'm taking all these branches back as short as possible. And if I don't see, like this branch here, I don't see any new buds. I don't see a bud at the tip. It looks really, really weak. So there's 2 options. I could prune that off, or I could just don't touch it at all and see if something develops on that branch, because nothing is visible yet. Now that may change as we get closer to real spring, but no sign of life on that branch, or new life. This one, I've got a couple of buds here, but nothing back further, so I can't really shorten that without taking a big risk. This one, you can see there's all kinds of buds at the base of this, so I can shorten this right back like that and use these new buds as the new branches. Same, I can take this one back really short. There's a branch here. I've got a bud here, one on top, so I can just take a little bit off. Not much. This one I've got a strong bud at the base, so I can take that back there. And this one too, well, I got buds here, maybe nothing in this area, but sometimes they bud back on the trunks, which is also really nice. So you can see I've already taken that apex down quite slim. Now I want to take these branches down closer to the trunk line here. These branches here, they're all very upright. Let's have a look at those. Alright, so I'm looking at this upright branch here. It's growing very vertical, and this one's part of the same branch, and if I were to take those off, I would have quite a bare spot here, which is Actually very typical of black spruce. They have kind of branches of the lower part, a bare section, and then like an arrowhead on the top. So that might be a wise thing to do. I'm looking at these vertical shoots. If I turn it around, I've got a bud at the base of the one, so I could grow a more horizontal branch here. But down here I have a whole cluster of branches, so it may not be desirable to have, you know, even more branches in that spot. So I need to decide what I want to do there. I definitely don't want these, you know, shoots coming up vertically. I think that just spoils the tree. And I already have enough of a whorl down here, so I think I'm going to take them off. So I'm going to start with this big thick one out front here. So it's coming off right here, like that. And I might be able to prune that just a little bit closer to the trunk. Yeah, like that. And then this one, I have a bud down low, so I'm going to prune it back at least to here, like that. And now I've got to deal with this whorl of branches here. You can see there's one branch here that I pruned, and there, again, it's really weak. There's no buds on it. I think chances are it would probably die this summer. So if I want to thin this section, this whorl out here, that's a good place to start, taking that really weak branch off. So here I go, like that. There is a bud underneath it, which is good. This one can be pruned shorter, like that. I have a lot of buds that will come out horizontally. This one could be pruned shorter. I have a bud back here. I guess I could prune this one even shorter too, because I have the bud back there. So I'll probably, once those buds start growing, I'll probably prune this branch off and just replace it with a new shoot. Then I can manage it more carefully, kind of getting it to grow how I want it to. So that's kind of, a lot of this whorl is in check. It's going to back bud like crazy, and then I'll select my branches once it starts growing, thin it out, and hopefully make it look quite nice. So all these branches here, this one here and this one here, have no new buds on it, but at the base of them there's a whole bunch of buds. So these branches will get regrown also. So I'll just prune them back, knowing they'll come off in the future and be replaced by new buds coming off the trunk. And same down here, you can see down lower. Yeah, so as I go further down the tree, I can see here these branches, I've got all kinds of buds, so they'll just be replaced in the future also. So I'll just prune them back a bit, so I know I'll be taking those off. Here's an upright part to this branch that can be removed, and this one can be shortened to some back buds. This one, again, I have back buds underneath it, so I can shorten it. This one, I've got buds back here, so I'll shorten that branch. It's amazing on these spruce, you know, how well they do back bud, and how you can get them very compact just by pruning. Take the tip off this one, tip off this one, tip off here, tip off here. Looking for back buds. Now here's a branch that's sticking straight up. I'll take that out. Don't want that. Shorten this one. Trim that one. Wow, it's amazing how I can shorten this. And this tree isn't very old. It's a young one. So here's a branch. I've got some horizontal growth on it, and I've got a lot of vertical growth. So I can prune the vertical growth off, keeping my horizontal growth. So that will make a much nicer branch in that area. This can be pruned back. I've got buds back here. I've got buds everywhere. It's amazing. This one can be pruned back. This one can be pruned back. This one. This one. Back further. This one can be pruned back further. Now this one, it comes out and divides into 3 here. Now this branch here, you can see it's quite thick. It divides into 3. So I could take out one of those branches and keep the other ones. So I'm going to, I don't want, if I take out the middle one, I've got too wide a Y shape with the remaining 2 branches. So I want to keep my middle one and one branch to the side. So I think in this case, because I have more space on this side of the tree, I'll keep this branch and remove this one here. That gives these branches a little more room. And then I'll prune. There's a bud back here, so I can prune this branch shorter. This one, I can prune the tip off. That's about all I can do there. Now let's keep rotating around. Here's another branch that has a nice cascading branch that I can prune it back to there. This one divides into 2 here, and then 2 again, so I can prune. This part's really strong. I got a bud back here, so I'll prune that one back shorter. This one looks really weak. I don't see any new buds on it at all, so I'll leave that one. It may not even live this year, but oh, here's another branch that has multiple branches coming off of it. Definitely get rid of all this upper part, keeping these 2. One could be shortened. There's another branch. Shorten that one. And take this one out. Shorten this one. And I think that's about, yeah. I think that's about all I can do on that one. You know, when these new buds come out, I can maybe do some more pruning. See if I can shorten more branches. Like this one's fairly long, and I do have buds way back here. So I'll just shorten it for now. This one too. This one's very long. Got buds back there, here. That can be shortened. And prune that one back. Now I got some vertical growth here. Take that off. And here, take that right off. So I have made a lot of progress on this tree today. More than I expected, actually. I didn't expect this many back buds. This one's coming off the bottom, so I could prune off the top part of that branch. It's got another bud back there. Gets that branch going a better direction. I think I can take this branch right off. Don't like it there. And then I've got this vertical part here. I'm going to take that off. Okay, let's step back and have a look at the tree now. Here's a look at the tree now. So you can see it's a very nice, tight, conical form to it. I think it's looking really good. There's a possibility that this tree will go in my bog forest. Let me pull my bog forest out. Here's a look at my bog forest. So in the middle of the forest here, I have 2 dead spruce trees. And it's possible I could replace one of them with that living spruce. It's about the right size to go in there. And if I'm going to do it, you know, it's getting closer to spring. The buds are swelling and coming out. It would be the right time. Yeah, it's interesting. I do like the dead trees here. I think they really add a realistic feel to it, but I could also put a living one in there too. You know, maybe keep one dead tree, replace the living one, or move the other dead tree to a different location in the forest. You know, maybe on this side is sort of the tall tree, and this clump of larches on this side. I think it would be nice to have the focal point of this side of the forest, the tallest tree in the forest, to be a living tree. I do like the dead ones, but I think maybe the living tree is more important, and have the dead trees as sort of complementary trees, so they enhance the scene rather than they are the scene. So I can see I can do a lot of pruning in this forest also, especially on these black spruce. Same thing, I've got all these back buds coming all over the tree, and I can shorten a lot of these shoots back. Also getting them kind of tighter triangles. Yeah, so I think that's a good idea, to take this tree and put it in the forest here. I think that would look really good. So I think it's too much to tackle this forest today, because I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of work in it. There's a lot of trees to prune here. I can prune the large trees. I'm going to plant the new black spruce in the forest. So yeah, I think we'll leave that for tomorrow. We got the black spruce pruned up, or I did. And yeah, I think that'll be an exciting video tomorrow, getting this forest all pruned up, ready for spring. I've already done a lot of work on it, but I haven't touched the black spruce. I couldn't see the buds last time I was working on it. And you don't want to prune spruce until you can see the spring buds. Once you can see them, then you can start pruning. And the larch, you don't want to prune those until you see the buds swelling too, because you don't want to be pruning back to dead buds. You don't want to be relying on branches that may be dead, so for the styling of the trees. So you can see now they're all starting to shoot out. All the buds are swelling and coming out. There's green on all the tips, and some of them have actually leafed out already. Okay, so yeah, that's the plan. Put the living black spruce in the forest here. I have a feeling I think it's a little taller than this dead tree, and I could always take the top off this dead tree. I think I've got to move this one back further in the forest. There is an empty spot back here, and then put the living tree, kind of replace this tree with the living one. I think that would look really good. Or maybe, you know, I might have to rearrange more than just one tree. We'll see. But yeah, I think that'll be an exciting video. I'm looking forward to getting this forest all looking really nice. Here's what I took off my black spruce today. You know, quite a bit. Reducing those branches really far back. You can see the conical shape of the black spruce now, that very tight conical shape. And that matches all the rest of the black spruce in this forest, because I'm working on getting those pruned up the exact same way. I'm amazed at how tight a conical form I've got this black spruce down to, and it's only been a few years. I'll show you a picture of this tree when I first got it. So here it is today, a much different looking tree, and it'll now be part of my black spruce and larch forest. So I'm really looking forward to getting this forest all looking really nice tomorrow. So that is all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.